Welcome to the Autauga Football Review with Coach Bobby Carr. Coach, we had Evangel this past week. Another region game, another region win. I think the score was 58-0. Just kind of talk about the game, knowing some second-team guys got in and gave them some good experience. So just talk about the game just for a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, we knew going in that Evangel was young, didn't have a lot of depth. So our plan was to really work some backup guys and some third-team guys and get them some reps. So it was good for everybody to get some reps and get some playing time, some much-needed playing time for some younger guys. So it was a good night for everybody.
Awesome. Offense this week was kind of a little shaky early in the game. Then we kind of just came out and just kind of posed our will. Are you worried a little bit about it going forward, or is just something that you think it's just kind of with the type of week that we had, knowing it was a really short week, that kind of played a little factor in that?
Yeah, I think a lot of it was the weather. We only got outside once, and that showed Friday night, and that's why we really emphasized our kids. That's why we show up and we got to work every day to get better. If we don't, those type of things happen. So again, it sounds like we're harping on our offense not playing well and still put up 58 points, but it's about the execution, and we want to be perfect in everything we do. So obviously we found some things that we can get better at.
Going into offense, Tyson is our offensive player of the week. Had 2 touchdowns, 1 rushing and 1 passing. Talk about Tyson a little bit, knowing he's the backup, knowing he's 1 play away, but also knowing that he's our starting safety on the other side of the ball. Just talk about Tyson and just kind of the dual role that he has for us.
Yeah, that's the thing. But being a backup quarterback is tough, especially when you're like Tyson, a good enough athlete to play another position to help the team. It puts a lot more on him, and I know sometimes he thinks I'm a little demanding. But again, he's 1 play away from having to get on there in offense and keep the offense rolling. But I've seen a lot of progress in him in the last few weeks. He's throwing the ball really well. He's starting to grasp everything we're trying to do with our offense. And I'll also mention he's doing a really good job for us at safety. So been proud of his efforts the last few weeks, and it's always good to see him continue to get better as the season goes on.
Well, let's take a look at Tyson Tubbs, Offensive Player of the Week. Welcome to the Offensive Player of the Week for the Autauga Football Review. This is Tyson Tubbs. How you doing, Tyson?
I'm good, Coach. How are you?
Tyson, we played Evangel last week. It was a region win, kind of an easy victory. You had 2 touchdowns, 1 passing and 1 rushing. Just tell us about the game just a little bit.
Second team finally got to go in for a little bit, and on my running touchdown, I think it was a curl, and then the pocket collapsed, so I just took off. And then on my throwing one, the bubble slant, and Clay just made a good move. So
absolutely awesome. Talk about just a little bit about what it takes to kind of be the backup quarterback, knowing that you're 1 play away. Usually the backups probably don't get to be Offensive Player of the Week, and it's just lucky that it happened this week. But you play both sides of the ball. You start on defense, but you're also the backup quarterback. So just kind of talk about offensively how it is just to be that next guy, knowing you're going to be 1 play away.
It's a lot of pressure sometimes because Coach Carr expects just as much from me as he does from Tripp, which is a good thing, I guess, because I think I am ready if Tripp were to go down. But it's also pretty hard managing defense and offense at the same time, because when we're at practice, I got to be on offense a lot, even though I start on defense.
Absolutely. Going into next week, this week coming up, we got Edgewood. Finally decided to play us region game. This game's actually going to be for the region championship. Just talk about that, knowing that you played at Edgewood for a couple years. Just how do you feel about this game coming up on Thursday?
To me, it's one of the biggest games of the year for me, just because I went there, and I think everyone else from Edgewood can agree. They're pretty good. I think if we can just shut down the wide receivers, I think we'll be good. So.
Awesome. Do you have anything you want to say to the fans? Just, we want a big crowd to come out. So what you want to say to your fans out there?
Y'all just show up and support us. So.
Awesome. This is Tyson Tubbs, Offensive Player of the Week. Welcome back. That was Tyson Tubbs, Offensive Player of the Week. Coach, we're going to go into the defensive side of the ball. Another shutout. A really good game from our defense. Talk about them just a little bit, knowing that Evangel's offense wasn't really as high-powered, just kind of like last week, but knowing we want to be good across the board and be perfect in everything we do.
Yeah, We put a lot of pressure on them. Like I said, they were young, so our starters only played a few series, and then we got some backups in. But anytime you get a shutout against anybody, it's always good for the defense.
Going into that, we have our defensive player of the week is Elijah Elmore. Elijah's playing defensive tackle for us. I think doing a really, really good job. Yeah. But also he had to step in on the offensive side of the ball. We had a couple injuries. Just talk about Elijah and just kind of how he's helping the defensive side of the ball as well.
Yeah, Elijah's a good player. He's been starting for me since he was a freshman, and he can be as good as he wants to be, and that's always been my challenge to him. But he's a special talent. He's one of the most athletic big guys I've ever coached. I mean, he's 315 pounds and runs just under a 5'2", 40. He's got really good feet. His wingspan's 81 inches, which is unusual for a 6'2" guy. So he's got a bright future. I can't wait to see him continue to get better and continue to progress, and hopefully he'll make somebody a really good defensive tackle at the next level.
Awesome. Let's take a look at Elijah Elmore, Defensive Player of the Week. Welcome to the Autauga Football Review with the Defensive Player of the Week. We have Elijah Elmore. How you doing, Elijah?
How you doing, Coach?
Elijah, we played Evangel this past week. You got the Defensive Player of the Week. How was the game?
It was a good game. It's not really good competition, but in games like that, you got to work on what you need to improve on, working on footing, working on splits, just things that you can improve on as a player.
Absolutely. How hard is it knowing that you had to step in for Kendall House, which is our right tackle, who got kind of injured and he'll be out for a couple weeks, knowing that you play both ways, but you got the Defensive Player of the Week this past week? Just how difficult is it knowing that you got to play both sides of the ball, but knowing your focus is on the defensive side?
It wasn't really that big of a task, because all summer and all season I've been going with second team. Coach Parker getting me right and telling me that if somebody goes down, I got to be there. If Juicy goes down, I got to be there. If somebody on the offensive line goes down, I have to be there. So it wasn't really that big of a task, just knowing that if somebody goes down, I got to step up.
Awesome. Going into this next week, we got Edgewood. Knowing that it's a region championship, implications for us. Also, it is for them. Knowing you went there, that's kind of where you came from. That's where you were at first, and now you're here at Autauga. Just talk about what does it mean to you to play them, knowing it's for a region championship.
A lot of emotions. Going there, being there for a little bit, and having to leave kind of hurt a little bit. But getting to play them, get some revenge, get some get back, that's gonna be the biggest thing.
How hard was it going to be to kind of control those emotions, which you said somebody emotions, just to kind of control them during the game and not let them take over your mindset, so you're not doing anything out of the ordinary, that you can kind of still be locked in to do what you're supposed to do?
Really just breathing before every play, just taking time to breathe, knowing what you got to do, play your assignments, and really just going out there and having fun.
Awesome, awesome. That is Elijah Elmore, Defensive Player of the Week. Welcome back. That was Elijah Elmore, Defensive Player of the Week. Coach, we have a little special segment coming up. We're going to talk about special teams a little bit. A lot of folks kind of forget that special teams is a part of the game, knowing that the offense scores points, the defense wants to get a shutout. Talk about special teams and how we've been up to this point in the season.
Well, going into every game, we want to be good in all three phases, and that's offense, defense, and special teams. And we talk about it every day that you don't win many games on special teams, but you see a lot of teams lose games on special teams if they're not sound. And Coach Tubbs does a really good job, and that takes a lot off of the head coach when you've got a really good special teams coordinator that gets things done, and I don't have to worry about it. And he's been our special teams coordinator for a number of years, the last few years here, and then of course when we were at our previous school, Edgewood, he was over there with us for 4 years. So been a blessing to have him. He's doing a good job.
Good deal. Let's take an in-depth look at Coach Scott Tubbs, special teams coordinator. Welcome to the Autauga Football Review. We have a special guest. We have Coach Tubbs, who's our special teams coordinator. How you doing, Coach Tubbs?
Hey, Coach. How you doing?
Coach, we're going into the game 8. So far, how has the special teams been rolling for this part of the season?
Well, beginning of the season, we struggled a little bit, staying in our lanes and certain things on certain kickoff teams and punt teams. But lately, we've played pretty good. we've had a couple kickoff returns for touchdowns, couple punt returns for touchdowns, and we've had a few block punts, and so we're doing a whole lot better than we were at the beginning of the year. So
good deal. Everybody says that it's offense and defense, but the good teams have the offense, defense, and special teams. How big of a part is special teams when you're talking about a whole group and just a really good football team?
Well, I think a great football team is very good in all three phases, like Coach Carr always says. With us, what we always tell our guys every week is you're not going to win many games on special teams, but you definitely can lose it. So what we try to preach to our guys is ball security. Another thing we want to make sure is we don't give up field position to the other team. So we want to make sure we get the ball caught on punts and certain things like that, make sure our kickoffs are right. So we put a lot of emphasis on that a little bit, and we do take pride in that. I mean, obviously, we want to win the game on offense and defense, but we definitely don't want to put ourselves in a bind because of special teams. So we put a little emphasis on that.
Going to your philosophy on special teams, I think you kind of hit on it a little bit about, not really going to win a game, but we could definitely lose a game.
Correct.
Kind of go in a little bit about that. I mean, I know that this year we really hadn't had a special teams blunder where it could put us in a situation where we did lose a game or anything, but just talk about just philosophy and your stance on special teams.
Well, special teams, biggest thing can change momentum of a game. You get a key block punt somewhere midpoint of a game, it can change the momentum to where your offense is now clicking. Remember a few years ago in a state championship game, I think we ran 4 fake punts and an onside kick and got them all. That just changed the whole dynamic of a game. So in the big scheme of things, if you do the little things right, you set yourself up to be successful, throughout on every game, Friday nights or Thursday nights or whenever.
Absolutely. Coach, going into this week's game, we got Edgewood coming up. It's a region championship game for us, implications actually for both teams. How do you feel about this week? How's practice been going special teams wise, and what do you see kind of going into the game on Thursday night?
To me, it's just the next game on the schedule. Some kids are hyping it up to be bigger than it is. To me, it's the next one. Be honest with you, I thought we did a pretty good job yesterday on some special teams things that we were putting in, and we got a few more things we got to work on today and tomorrow. But I'm pretty confident our guys will pick this stuff up, and we'll be ready to go for Thursday night.
Absolutely. Well, guys, the game is Thursday night, 7 o'clock. Please come out. This is Scott Tubbs. He's our special teams coordinator. Thanks for stopping by, Coach.
Thanks, Coach.
We'll be back. Welcome back. That was Coach Scott Tubbs, our special teams coordinator. Coach, we're going into this week. Got a region championship on the line, playing Edgewood, kind of a familiar team for you. Just talk about what do you think about this game coming up?
Yeah, our kids are excited. I'm sure their kids are excited. They've had a good year over there. Glad we're finally getting to play. I spent 15 really good years at Edgewood, worked with some good people. Still got a couple assistant coaches that are still there that are still good friends of mine. In fact, when we see them, we talk about some good times and we share good memories we had during those 15 years. And I was fortunate to coach some really good players during that time. I think that's what makes a school, are the kids, the people you surround yourself with. And that's why, I think Autauga is a very special place because of the people that are here, and I'm not just talking about the players and the coaching staff. I'm talking about the administration, our faculty, even our board of trustees, just really good people. They're real supportive, and they really get behind our football program, our athletic program, and it's just been a special place over here the last 3 years.
Awesome. The game this week is on Thursday night. We kind of had it moved just for officials standpoint, but heard it's going to be a really big crowd. Everybody's looking for us just to kind of win this championship, and we've won the past 2 region championships. Coach, do we overlook this team, or do we keep it just where it's just another game on the schedule, not even worried about a region championship? It's just the next rung of the ladder.
Some people make that their goal. That's never our goal. We don't even talk about region championships. We talk about state championships here. It's the next team on the schedule. and we're looking forward to playing them. I'm sure we'll be excited. Everybody will be excited. But, you know, like I tell our kids, like I told them yesterday at practice, you know, just control the hype. Play hard-nosed physical football, play with class, and represent your school the right way. And that's our challenge to our guys, and I'm sure everybody will see a great ball game Friday night or Thursday night.
Good deal. The game this week is Thursday night, 7 o'clock. Come out. Also, a couple announcements. Again, we have that gun raffle going on. So if you'd like to buy one of those tickets, they're $20. The gun raffle will be November the 9th here at our school during a home football game. We'll give away one each quarter. Coach, let's get that win.
All right, brother. Thank you.
Thank you. This is Coach Bobby Carr, Autauga Football Review.